It's okay to disappoint people. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Magnetic Online Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Stefi Lane. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about disappointment, letting others down, and being completely okay with that. As I get older, something I've realized is that being disappointed and people being disappointed in you is an unavoidable thing. It is going to happen, especially if you want to live this magnetic life. You're going to disappoint perhaps friends, perhaps partnerships, client relationships, whatever you are creating in your life. There is going to be sometimes when you drop the ball. And something I've really had to learn is that it's okay for others to have disappointment, and then it is okay for you to be disappointed. Like, that is completely normal human reaction to things. We fear so much the disappointment, especially as women, that we try at all costs to avoid it. We try to do the affirmations and go to yoga and go on the walks and go to the retreats and hire the coaches and hire the mentors. And if you actually just sit with your disappointment or sit with someone being disappointed in you, you're actually going to realize that it doesn't have a grip on you as much as you thought it was going to. So let's talk about when someone's disappointed in you. Oh my goodness, right? When you were a kid, if your parent said to you, "I'm not upset with you, I'm disappointed in you," it was like a slap in the face. How could you say that to me? And there are times and there's parenting things that you have to do or you don't do. I want to talk about this relationship with others, where perhaps your friendships, your partnership, client, coworker, boss, and you're never going to get it 100% right. There's going to be disappointment, but you are not responsible for someone's disappointment. You are only responsible for your responsibility, for your actions, for your commitments. So if you have done things, and this is something I've been really listening and connecting with the last few months, is when somebody is disappointed in you, or they're disappointed in the process, or they're disappointed in their results or their lack of results. Yes, there are times to look at your processes, look at things, be like, okay, how could I have done this better? How could I have rearranged this? But it also is not your job to try to rearrange their feelings. There are expectations, and if you were clear, like I'm talking about in client relationships, I have been very clear in communicating these are the things that, we walk away with. These aren't the things you walk away with. Like, if you did the due diligence, if you had the written stuff, if you had spoken it, or you had communicated it with a partner or with a friend and they're disappointed, you really don't have to take that on. So like, for example, with friends, when I have friends that are not entrepreneurs and not business owners, most of the time they don't get it. They don't get that this is like a 24-hour job, right? They don't get certain things, and that's okay, right? And if you are in the 9 to 5 thing, you can do it. You can make it happen. But what I'm saying is, I've had friends in the past be like, "Can you do this? Can you go out on a Tuesday at noon for lunch? Can you meet here? Can we do this? Can we go out? Can we drink? Can we party?" And I've had to be like, what is in priority? As an entrepreneur, I have responsibilities. What is it that I can show up for? What is it that I can't show up for? And I've disappointed people. "Oh, you can't come to this party. Oh, you can't come to this event. Or you can't pay $100 for this concert." It's not that I can't, I just don't choose to. I just don't want to. And I've had to feel that disappointment from others, but also I don't need to take it on. Like Mel Robbins says, let them feel that. And if you did your thing where like, hey, this doesn't feel in alignment with what I want to create, or this is not what I'm doing for my life, or this is not what I'm focusing on, and you've said those things, you've communicated those things, and there's still disappointment, that isn't up to you to change and to shift. You're not responsible for someone else's disappointment. Yes, there can be in different contexts and different things, like in relationships and in perhaps your boss, your clients, there's different things and responsibility and commitment. But I really desire for you to understand, like, what is theirs, and when you do feel disappointment, how could you have done it better? How could you have created maybe a better and safer space for yourself? And then I go into the disappointment that you feel. This is especially so tough as a woman, to feel the feeling of disappointment. We especially were sold in the Disney era that, happily ever after, everything always works out. We're always going to. And while I'm all about being magnetic and want you to connect with your magnetism, I I know life and circumstances aren't perfect. And disappointment's going to happen. But if you run away from disappointment, it's just going to compound. It's going to become a big old snowball, and then it becomes a snowman. And it just like will pummel you, will swallow you up. And I don't want that. If you feel disappointment, be honest with yourself. Feel it. What is this? What is this disappointment trying to tell me? I recently was dealing with some disappointment in a client relationship, and I actually was like, you know what? This is catapulting me to do things differently. And then this is also catapulting me into shedding this part of my business so I create space for this new part. I let the disappointment be an activation, not a place of spiraling to sadness and being like, there's nothing to do. And there's times for that. But I was desiring that something's got to change. And this disappointment is just a sign to show me to my North Star. So allow disappointment to move through you with yourself, and then allow others to feel their disappointment if that's what is important to them. Even in family relationships, anytime I go back to San Diego to go visit my family, I can always feel, and I only have so much time. Like I can only go there for a few days. I have to come back. I gotta work. I have responsibility. I have things to do. But like, oh, I wish you stayed longer. Oh, you're not here that long. Oh, you're so busy. Because I have a lot of friends there. I have my friends. I have my family. I have a lot to do. And I always feel disappointment from somebody when I go and visit. But then I always and also disappointment with myself, but I also just go and like, I let this go. I let this go. I let the disappointment go. Thank you so much. Please leave a comment below. What are you letting go of disappointment? Like, why are you no longer allowing disappointment to rule you? And what are you disappointed in right now? And then actually, what are you going to just let go? Because it's time. Thank you so much. Make sure to join my email list at stefilane.com, where we talk about magnetism, business strategy, identity, energy, all the things. And I will see you on the next episode.